We've been following the story of a foiled terrorist plot in London all day. 2 car bombs were discovered, neither went off. Terrorism, as you know, has no age limit. CNN's Carol Costello joining us once again to tell us about a film that uncovered efforts to recruit children as suicide bombers. Carol, how young are these people we're talking about?
Well, some kids are as young as 6 years old. You know, Brooke Goldstein is on a mission. As a young law student, she traveled to the West Bank to make a documentary about child abuse. Not the kind we think about here, but the kind that turns children into killers.
It's a small film, but powerful.
They showed me how to use the belt. They showed me out and said there were soldiers in a location, and that I should jump among them.
The making of a martyr is the story of children transformed into killers. Hussam, just 15, was offered paradise, rides on a Ferris wheel, and $20. In the end, he couldn't do it. Arrested by Israeli soldiers, he's now doing time. Brooke Goldstein, who produced Martyr, talked with him.
Why did you disconnect the battery? I was concerned about my life, my sisters, my mother, my father, and the house. Why should I die if there's peace tomorrow?
Goldstein says she's on a crusade to bring attention to a growing problem. Just a few days ago, a 6-year-old boy in Afghanistan turned himself into Afghan soldiers. He'd been lured by the Taliban for a suicide bombing he managed to foil.
These children are not criminals. They don't deserve to be punished. They are victims of the most abhorrent human rights abuse, which is the intentional murder of innocent children.
Hussam is serving an 8-year prison term. Goldstein describes him as physically handicapped and unpopular in school. Children like him are easily manipulated by terrorist recruiters who expose them to cartoons depicting violence and pictures depicting armed children as heroes. Goldstein says she talked with terrorist leaders about it.
We refuse child martyrs, the first, second, third, even the 4th and 5th time, until the child reaches a point where he will use a knife. No one gives him a bomb belt.
Goldstein initially interviewed Hussam 4 years ago when he regretted listening to those terrorists. But after a year in prison with hardened militants, Hussam explains what he did differently today.
By the way, when I went on that day, I wasn't scared. My heart was not beating hard. When they drove me to the checkpoint in the car, I was giggling and jumping with joy. I couldn't stay still.
Did you notice the change in body language? And you know, that's the thing. The longer these kids stay in prison, the more hardened they become. Goldstein thinks Hussam will likely become a successful suicide bomber once he leaves prison. Wolf?
So is there a solution to any of this, Carol?
Such a tough question, but Goldstein says international outrage is a start, and she says attorneys should band together to prosecute states that allow terror propaganda aimed at children. But most importantly, families within these communities should step up and loudly say, this is wrong.
Carol, thank you very much. A powerful piece. Carol Costello reporting.